My name is Jim, and I have emphysema. Before my illness, I was a very active individual. Enjoyed extensive traveling. I'm a CFO. That requires a lot of activity, walking. I was always involved in projects, rebuilding cars, pretty much active at all times. I found I was getting short of breath. I couldn't fulfill the obligations at work. My job requires extensive walking, being out in the heat at times, traveling. I've had to curtail those activities. We like to travel. I've had to stop traveling because I couldn't keep up with the pace anymore. Walking, I like to be able to walk. I've had to stop all those activities.
When this first started, when he first found out that things were going more or less downhill a while back, we had been in an airport and he was unable to take bags off of the turnstile. And it occurred to me that we were really going to have a problem. He would come in the house at night. We live on a second floor of an apartment. He'd walk in and he'd be unable to breathe when he first got into the apartment. And he would be unable to hug me, which was a very sad thing. We really needed to change something. We realized then we had to change something.
Yes, my pulmonologist is very open-minded. She's at one of the world-renowned clinics. She was not well-versed in stem cell therapy. She had recommended I put myself on the list for lung transplant, but when I explained why I wanted to do the stem cell therapy, she thought it's worth a try.
I thought it was very interesting at the time because he's considered very severe emphysema, but yet he's not on oxygen. But his doctor at that time was speaking about a lung transplant. And when he came home and said that to me, I was like not only shocked, I was actually frightened. You're talking about something that might not work and could cost many hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially. We just had to find another way. And Jim took the opportunity to find another way.
After quite a bit of research on the internet, looking at what is going on with stem cell research, I was very comfortable with what I was learning from the Lung Institute. I felt they had enough information and it collaborated with other information I was reading on the internet and talking to other people, that I felt that this was the right institute to come to.
I have to insert here that in the beginning, when he first told me that he found something online and that this was going to be something he wanted to do, I was not for it. And I say that to you because, of course, I am for it now. It was very interesting to me when he found on the internet that somebody was doing stem cell research, but I kept saying, well, how do we know that this is going to work? It could be just money down the drain. We had family get-together, and we asked our 3 sons, we have 3 grown sons, and they all felt it was worth it because their father had researched it, and I was the one who was tagging behind with my understanding of it, but I am so glad that we did it.
The extensive knowledge the staff has and the way they walked me through the entire process. I was comfortable. There were no surprises. They had suggested what I should do after I leave, and everything that they've suggested to me, the process has been spot on. I'm very happy I've met them. Since my first treatment, I've noticed quite a few things, not immediately. I could walk up the stairs without having to stop. I can carry my briefcase. I can walk in the front door, give my wife a hug and a kiss. We can travel now. Our vacations were stopped. We've now been traveling to see our children, our grandchildren. We're planning a couple more trips this year. Business, I've been traveling on business again. Some of the activities that I've had to curtail in my job, I've picked them up again. I can enjoy taking a walk down along the Atlantic Ocean and taking a walk after dinner, which I had to stop before.
Our lifestyle has changed from that time that I mentioned earlier in the interview when we were at the airport and he couldn't get the suitcases off of the turnstile. We're now able to not only travel, we're going to be taking a cruise with our grandchildren over Christmas time on the Disney cruise. So we're able to do things we thought we'd never be able to do again.
My overall experience is I would recommend it to anyone. From Dr. Feineman, I've been able to follow a lot of his work that he's done over the years. I'm very comfortable with him. To Dr. Hoffman, his background, his knowledge, I feel that they bring to people like myself a lot of care and understanding, and they're very open to any of the questions and even recommendations that the patient may have. It's a place where I feel you come and you're welcome, you're an individual, you're not just another patient record.
I would have to say that I feel the same way, and maybe even more so. So much so that I told my husband I felt it was important for us to do a testimonial. We certainly didn't have to, but I feel it's important for people to know that this is something worth doing. When you have emphysema, and a lot of people are diagnosed 10 years before it gets bad, when you have that, you're told by your doctor that there's no cure. And there's no hope when you hear there's no cure. But all they can do is treat your symptoms. My husband has had so many different kinds of inhalers, I can't even begin to tell you. I can't keep track of them. But over the years, what I've found is that, if it's going to get worse, we have to deal with it. This was the first time we found not only hope, but he's better. He's much better. And that's the part people have to know.